Guys, what's going on? My name is Louis, and God bless to every single one of you. Today is March 29, 2026, and welcome to the Grand Supreme News channel. Guys, we have a very alarming news coming out. Persia says army is waiting for the sleeping giant ground invasion and vows to set Donald troops on fire. That's very concerning. Obviously, they have something very powerful, a very powerful equipment to say something like that, to set Donald troops on fire. At the same time, we have some more breaking news. Look at this one here. And it seems like things are about to hit the fan next week. The sleeping giant is expected to have deployed sufficient ground forces to the Mid-East by early next week, including thousands of sleeping giant troops, soldiers, and many others to enable a potential ground operation in Persia. A sleeping giant source told I-24 News. Alright, so we're going to see what's going on here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Guys, do me a favor, like the video and hype this video as well. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. We have gained some views, and thank you so much for that. That hype button does work, so continue hitting that hype and share the video. Thank you so much. And if this is your first time, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell for all future updates and live streams. Alright, so Persia armed forces are waiting. They're waiting for a ground invasion by the sleeping giant troops and are ready to set them on fire and punish their regional partners forever. Speaker of Persia Parliament said on Sunday, and this was live, I believe. That's some very concerning message right there. So this person accused the sleeping giant of speaking of negotiations in public while planning a ground invasion in private, according to state media. It follows speculation that the sleeping giant officials are preparing for potential ground operation in Persia, which could last for weeks. The Washington Post reported on Saturday. Thousands of sleeping giant Marines arrived in the region aboard the USS Tripoli on Saturday, according to CENTCOM. The sleeping giant class amphibious assault ship serves as the flagship for the Tripoli Amphibious Ready Group 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, composed of about 3,500 sailors and Marines, in addition to transport and strike fighters aircraft, as well as amphibious assault and tactical assist, wrote U.S. Central Command CENTCOM. Man. So by next week, we could see something really big, guys. We could see something really big. It says here, meanwhile, Yemen's Persia-aligned Houthis have said they carry out a second strike on Holy Land in less than 24 hours. And vowed to continue military operation in the coming days. Alright, let me click on read more. We're going to continue with this story here. So the Independent is putting out this information here. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. So they do have some updates on this one here. So they do have some updates. So let me go with this one, right? So we're gonna go with this one here. So Persia has warned the Donald is leading the sleeping giant troops into the swamp of death. Man. Yeah, that's very concerning. Amid reports of a ground operation while the Holy Land Prime Minister Benny ordered the expansion of a controversial security buffer zone in southern Lebanon. So I have just instructed to further expand the existing security buffer zone. We are determined to fundamentally change the situation in the north, Benny said in a video statement from the Northern Command. Now, you have the IRGC, the Persian military, released a new video on Sunday, today, March 29, with military spokesperson saying, unfortunately, the leaders of the sleeping giant have delegated the authority to command the armed forces to someone who, due to imbalance, dangerous and wrong position and decision, has led the sleeping giant army into the swamp of death. That is very concerning. It follows speculation that the sleeping giant officials are preparing for potential ground operation in Persia, which could last for weeks, the Washington Post reported on Saturday. Here's the thing, guys. According to some expert, if this happens, if they place boots in Persia soil, this ain't gonna be weeks. This could be months or possibly years. The Washington Post reported on Saturday, and once again, thousands of sleeping giant Marines arrived in the region aboard the USS Tripoli on Saturday, according to CENTCOM. However, Secretary of State Rubio said on Friday that the sleeping giant could achieve its goal without a ground invasion. Someone said one thing, another person says another thing. Alright, give me 1 second here, guys. Alright, so it seems like that's all the information for that one there, but give me 1 second here, guys. I want to pull up some more of this story here. And thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you again for your support, guys. I really appreciate it. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so it says here, as of March 29, 2026, I'm going to skip that person's name. The Speaker of the Persian Parliament issued a stark warning that Persian forces are waiting for sleeping giant ground invasion to set them, sleeping giant soldiers, on fire. This historic comes as the conflict entered its 5th week, following a series of sleeping giant and Holy Land strike that began in late February. So 5th week. Now remember, Donald said this was only going to last 4 or 5 weeks. But things changed. So this person accused the sleeping giant of signaling a desire for negotiation in public while secretly plotting a ground strike. Now he warned that any ground operation will result in devastating casualties and that Persia would punish regional partners forever. Alright, so we're going to skip this one here. The warship. Donald has urged leadership to get serious soon. Oh, man. Once again, Donald has urged Persian leadership to get serious soon about a 15-point peace proposal, warning that once military escalation continues, there is no turning back, and it won't be pretty. You guys already know when Donald says something, he means it. Analysts suggest a sleeping giant ground operation might focus on seizing Karg Island, Persia's primary oil export hub to cut off the regime funding, pressure them to reopen the strait, which Persia has effectively blocked the start of the biblical war. Alright, so it says here Persia has rejected the Sleeping Giant 15-point peace plan, calling it a blueprint for surrender. Instead, Persia proposed its own condition, including reparations for the biblical war damage. So they are requesting that the Sleeping Giant pay the money for the damage that they have caused in their country and international recognition of its authority over the strait. While diplomats from Saudi, Egypt, and Turkey met in Pakistan on March 29 to broker a deal, the conflict continued to disrupt global energy supplies, with Brent crude prices surging by record margins. Once again, casualties. As of March 28, reports from Human Rights Agency estimate at least 3,461 have passed since the conflict began on the 28th. And I did post a video on this channel about, I think it was like 2 hours ago. We talked about the mass casualty, but we are definitely seeing some stuff here. Alright, let me take you on X really quick, guys. Let me take you on X. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hype the video. We have a big breaking news here. The IRGC, those are Iranian military. IRGC Aerospace Force commander says retaliation for strike on infrastructure are underway. Man, it's about to get hot tonight. Alright, so here's another one. This was posted 40 minutes ago. The Holy Land strike reported on UN peacekeeper base in southern Lebanon. Alright, so this is the big news that's coming out right now, guys. You got Sleeping Giant Holy Land dropping a big one on Persia capital electricity infrastructure. Now, powers are coming back on, from what I heard. Power are coming back on. Man, look at this here. Powerful explosion heard in other regions, capital Baghdad. All right, so yeah, it seems like this is gonna be all of it here, guys. I'm not seeing anything else so far. Alarming sirens sounding in Bahrain. So basically, incoming missile underway. Yeah, so I'm not saying anything else. So it seems like this is going to be all the information for now. But please continue to pray. I want to bring this up really quick. Bob Snyder excuse me, not Bob, I truly apologize. Rob Snyder says that the sleeping giant must restore the military draft for our nation's young people amid the ongoing biblical war in Persia. Each and every sleeping giant at 18 years of age must serve 2 years of military service. Snyder wrote on X. Now, this man never served in the military. He never even signed up. But what are your thoughts on this one here? So, there's been a lot of talk when it comes to draft. And I'm not talking about the NBA or the NFL. I'm talking about putting on the camouflage. But, yeah, just keep your eyes open on that one. I will keep you updated with all these nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Thank you so much for watching, guys. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Once again, guys, $5 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream. We go live once a week. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.